Welcome back to Maniacal Music Musings, or today I feel like I should be saying Maniacal Comedy Musers, but we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. I'm your host, Jeremy, as always. I have my blue balls intact, but still I'm freaking awesome. I I just ate a big bowl of some Cincinnati chili, best chili
Oh,
in the world,
yes.
and
Wait,
Lord,
Skyline or Gold Star?
And Lord, I wish I married a wealthy woman, but with dead parents, of course. I know I'm the joy of your world, Chancy. But let me introduce my co-host, aka Cousin Ray over here. He talks like a car salesman when he's cheating in Columbus or when he survived that plane crash in 10 days in Los Angeles. Oh, lordy, those LAers tore him apart. He calls me Thunder Dick, but I told him to stop talking or he'll be running out of jelly soon. He's a Salvation Barmy who will tell you a hand job is a man's job, but a blow job is your job. He can't get in the toilet bowl, so I don't know how he finds his girl's hole. Chancy motherfucking Grafe!
Hi.
Dude, I had so much fun right now. I'm telling you.
Dropping the
And
lyrics.
yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, every time. That's how I write these intros to make it inclusive. And that's right, folks. The voice you've been hearing this whole time is our guest for this episode, and this guest has been 6 months in the working. I mean, swear to God, I've been emailing back and forth for 6 months trying to get this working out for all of us, and it finally happened, and I am so excited about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Sadia Carone, stand-up comedian, TED talker, and so much more, but we're focusing on the comedy part tonight, I believe, so welcome, Sadia, to the show.
Thank you, and forgive me for interrupting. As a Cincinnati native, you can't just drop I had a bowl of chili without specifying Skyline or Gold Star. So forgive me for interrupting, but I got to know where you sit on that.
I don't know the difference. As a East Coaster, I eat Boston chili, which just has a shitload of beans. So yeah, but
Okay.
And I was going off a certain bit that we'll be talking about in a little bit here.
Okay.
A bit I've been hearing for 20 years. That's freaking hilarious. But that's right, folks. We got a stand-up comedian again for the second time this week, but we're not doing musical albums this week, per se. We are doing, well, okay, they are music albums still, at least a couple of them, but we're doing comedy albums. And we've teased about doing this episode for a long time, and it's finally come. I am so happy because I love stand-up comedy, have for a long time, and I'm just happy we finally get to honor some great comedians, including our guest.
Yeah.
Including our guest, which we're going to talk about her work. We'll talk about her work in a minute, but why don't you tell us first things first, Sadia? How'd you get started in stand-up comedy?
It's such a crazy story. Like, comedy is either the easiest thing in the world or the most difficult thing in the world. And people have been telling me that I'm hilarious for as long as I can remember. But unlike being a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant where the path is clear, to get involved in stand-up, you kind of have to know somebody. So one day back in New York, I had some boring temp job at a convention, and I kept making my coworker crack up with my Sadia-ness. And he looks at me and he's like, "You should do stand-up." And I literally went nuts on this guy. I was like, "God damn it. Everyone keeps telling me I should do stand-up. Where do you go? Where do you start? How do you do it?" And he was like, "Okay, calm down. I'm an actual stand-up comedian. I'm going to comp you into my show, and I'm going to help you get started." So I went and I saw his show, and he was good. But at the same time, I was like, "I can do this." And he's like, "Yeah, you can do this." So he sent me to this place called Gotham, where it's literally 250 comics. And you pull a number out of a hat, and that's your number. And I was like 183. So I sat through a lot of comedy. And I got up, and he had warned me, no one's going to laugh, Sadia. Comics are jaded, and they're basically assholes. But I don't know what I did. I made the whole room laugh. And he said, "You do not understand how good you are." I said, "Apparently not." He's like, "Just keep at it. It's going to work out for you." So that's the story.
Well, I mean, hell, people tell you should do something. Sometimes you gotta listen because they're right. I mean, people told me I should be a porn star. I still didn't listen, and what the fuck? I could have been rich by now. But, well, let's start off the show same way we always do. What album did you want to bring, Sadia? And I mean, I know the answer, but why did you want to bring this one?
I brought my comedy album, The Total Dick Experience, because why not, right? Self-promotion is a good thing.
Of course it is. I self promote shamelessly on multiple shows. So, and folks, let me just tell you, you're in for a treat here. And what's going on to Miss Beautiful Harley? Glad to have you watching. And I gotta say, well, actually, you know what? Chancy, I'll let you. Whoa, Chancy dropped, but okay, Chancy will be back in a second, I'm sure. He probably was just having some technical difficulties. But I will give my review because I didn't know what to expect going to this album. I wanted to go into it fresh, so I wasn't listening to any other material or anything because I just wanted to go into this one fresh. And I freaking loved it. Like, I thought it was. I love dirty humor, so your album to me was freaking hilarious, and I even messaged Chancy, and I was like, she kind of reminds me of Garfunkel and Oates, like a one woman Garfunkel and Oates,
Yep. Thank you. Huge compliment. Thank you.
which I was a huge fan of their show that was on in the last decade at some point. I forget when the hell it was, but yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's my kind of comedy. Anything that's dick comedy, I'm freaking down for. Making fun of make it, and usually dick comedy means making fun of dicks, so I am totally always down for that. And it was hilarious. I was literally sitting my desk at work, dying laughing with my headphones on, like just dying laughing because it's just like, oh my god, this is hilarious. And I'm
I'm
like,
so happy.
and I know guys who can basically be related to based on everything that you say, so it works out perfectly. I mean, I could picture it all so easily. But now that my fearless co-host is back in his red room, which I'm guessing the power's back on, but
Yeah, it booted me when my router kicked on. Fucking
okay. Well, at least the power's back on, buddy. You're back in the red room like always. What did you think of Sadia's album? I'm dying to hear.
honestly, this isn't necessarily a slight by any means. If your stand-up comedy gig doesn't work, you could definitely make a living selling it at Guantanamo Bay for the enhanced interrogation techniques.
It was torture? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, I was listening to this thing in preparation for the show, and I was playing. I play video games when I do the listens. I got a buddy who actually found me that I have to bring their album now. So I was playing this game with him, and we're playing with that, and he's like, Chancy, I can hear the pain in your voice. I can hear the pain in your voice. And oh my god, he left.
Well, it's not for everyone. I mean, nothing.
No. It's not about whether or not. Honestly, I actually thought that there was two of them that were pretty solid. Because
Okay.
it's not that I hated it or anything. It's just that as no exposure time whatsoever, I'm just literally playing on a live mic in a lobby, and everybody's listening to what I'm listening to. So they're all just stuck like Chuck in the back of the truck because I'm running the fucking radio. And I fucking, and I was thinking that I was like, that's going to be a good joke. I was like, you know what? If this doesn't work, then you know what? She can make money selling it to the government for fucking enhanced interrogations at Guantanamo Bay. Fucking.
Well, I mean,
I was like, fuck it. Take a run at the comic. It's funny. Everybody laughed. Jeremy even walked away.
no, Jeremy had to go spit up some damn mucus because his throat's sick as shit. But and it's funny, Chancy. There's another Guantanamo Bay joke coming up tonight at some point. And yes, Harley, self promote all you want, folks. Go check out the Asylum with Harley, Lisa, and now Jeremy tomorrow night. You forgot that third part, but thank you. But I mean, well, damn, Chancy, you and your damn blue balls, bro. But I gotta. Casey, take care of your.
I thought that shit was good.
It was good, but take care of your man, Casey. He needs to get those blue balls drained, apparently. But I loved it. I personally loved it. It's my kind of humor. I like humor that makes fun of men, even though I'm a man, because I'm not a impotent man who can't take a joke. So if you want to make fun of my gender, or my race all the time, I'm down for that. So, but Sadia, I got here. What are your favorite tracks off your album? What are your top 5 off your own album? and I kind of want to hear the stories behind some of these while you're doing it. Kind of.
Okay, well, on my Instagram, you probably see the song Dicks constantly. That's how I end my comedy sets. That's the first song that I wrote, and it's the one that I actually play guitar on, which is the baby guitar, my 6 chords. I wrote that song because I came home from an open mic night and I heard probably 40 guys talking about their dicks. And I was just like, oh my God, some people think I'm reasonably cute. What can I do as a public service to tell these fucked up, pathetic men a girl's perspective? And I wrote the song, I think, in like 90 seconds. Dicks, there's lots of different dicks. Some are short, some are thick, some are teeny tiny, but don't get whiny. Dicks, there's lots of different dicks. Some are long and some are strong, some are curvy and some are straight. I just wrote the whole thing. It was an instant hit. So I hosted the open mic the next week, debuted my song, everybody went nuts. And a friend told me to go to a music open mic at the Virgin. I sang it there, and everybody went nuts. People were like, where can I buy that song? I must have that song. And so I got up on the mic and I was like, I need a producer and a recording studio and I don't know what to do. Help me. So some guy came up to me and said, oh, call my friend. So I called the friend and I sang the song. Well, the friend produced Imagine Dragons and The Killers here in Vegas. And he loved the song. I just sang it for him. He was going to work with me for free, but his studio musicians are $250 an hour each. So that wasn't going to work. So he sent me to his Grammy Award-winning friend, David Doran, who's just crazy enough to want to work with me. And, I paid for the album. David went above and beyond. He did the cover art. He won a Grammy and I didn't. So I was like, oh, thank you, sir. Okay. And that's him actually taking a whiz on Toilet Bowl. It's the piss heard around the world because I have friends in Australia and South America that have heard it. My favorite, if I had to pick just one though, for me, it would be Your Boner's Not My Problem.
I could see that. And apparently Harley was taking a drink almost when she almost did a spit take when you start singing the song, so that's perfect. Love it. But I see. I know the song, folks. So it didn't take me by surprise. I sat here and smiled because I love that song. But
I think that's the most feminist song.
It
and
is.
That really happened. So I mentioned the Virgin Hotel, right? My single dropped, and I'm the kind of girl who never really thought I would have an album or be dropping singles, So I went to the sluttiest store in Vegas and bought this gorgeous see-through sequined thing that you wear a bikini under, to be modest. And I went to the Virgin and I was going to debut my album. And the host, he's a douche, he literally said, hey, Sadia, nice dress. I'm starting the night off with a boner. And I was like, ew. So I went and told my producer what happened. And he's like, we're going to recreate that moment. And you're going to go sing the song at the Virgin. And so I went home that night and I wrote, oh, your boner's not my problem. And it's no friend of mine. And I did go back to the Virgin and I sang it and I got banned.
Talk about the machoistic world fucking stricken again. But God forbid someone tells you they don't care about your boner. I mean, yes, I've been told that before to myself personally, but I mean, it's a man thing to go through that at some point in life. And Harley, you can find this album on Spotify under Sadia Music. That's where you can find this album, Told Experience. It's freaking hilarious. I was sharing it around to all the podcast chats I'm in yesterday. I'm like, you guys got to hear this album. You got to hear this album. Like, some of the women I know, I'm going to be like, you're going to love it. You're going to fucking love it.
Oh, bruh, totally. So my favorite line in that song, whoops, sorry, headphone, is, what is it? So what if you whacked off last night while thinking of me? Doesn't make a contract between us legally. Because I remember being in junior high and it's always the crusty ones, right? Some crusty guy would come up to me like, hey, Sadia, I was whacking off to you last night. I'm like, okay, ew. And that doesn't make me happy, doesn't give you any rights to me. What you do is you go do you, just don't tell me about it. I don't care. So, I think a lot of women will relate to that song, and I hope it becomes the Me Too anthem.
I totally agree. It should be, and I mean, And damn, I mean, different times. Because when I was in middle school, if I went and told the girl I whacked off to her, I'd probably be sitting in the principal's office about 10 minutes later, about to get suspended. But different times, different times. But well, for your album, I would easily rank them all because they were all freaking hilarious. And my my honorable mention was Toilet Bowl because I don't know why it just was. But if you can't hit the bowl, how are you going to find a girl's hole? Like that's the best line ever. That's the best line ever. I mean, size difference alone. If you can't get your shit in the big hole, how you gonna get in the smaller hole? Come on. Oh, hopefully it's a smaller hole for your sake, but I mean, come on. So
Well, okay, so the story behind that song is pretty interesting. So, Dicks was the first one. Dicks, lots of different dicks. Some are short, some are thick. So one of the guy comics, who was my friend, there are these two guys, and they're great, and they were my friends. One of them comes up to me, and he's like, Sadia, don't take this the wrong way, but I was taking a leak the other day, and your song Dicks has a really good beat. Why don't you write a song reminding men of all the steps they need to take when they take a leak? And I was like, look, man, born a woman, staying a woman. I might have seen a dick or two in my day, but I've never, peed with one. You're going to have to give me intel. And he said, sure. And I said, but whatever you give me, I'm using, and I'm not giving you any credit. He's like, that's fine. I don't care. Just write the song. I'm like, okay, so you're giving this to me for free to work my magic on it to make a song. And he's like, yeah. So a couple different guys contributed different pieces. And he just made stuff up off the top of his head. That's why he doesn't care about it. He's like, yeah, go ahead, use it. I don't care. He came up with that line, and I was like, no. And he said, yes. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. And he said, just do it. And I was like, fuck it. Okay, I'll just do it. And then I went home, and I had this like Liza Minnelli kind of cabaret vibe. Don't be a clown, put the seat down. It's the gentlemanly thing to do. Don't be a clown, put the seat down. All the ladies will appreciate you.
which I honestly feel that should be like one of those written stenography things over a toilet bowl in people's bathrooms. But
Well, I'm hoping to get it licensed. I'm hoping to get the song licensed in like strip clubs or casinos. I mean, I don't want kids hearing the lyrics, obviously. So that's why I would want it to be a strictly 21 and over kind of sitch. But yeah, I think that would be a great song to play in the men's bathroom. Along with Your Boner's Not My Problem. In case the guy's taking a 20-minute dump, he needs to hear that.
well, I mean, personally, that's funny because that's actually what number 5 song was. Your boner's not my problem. Number 4 was Dicks. See, all the songs we talked about so far are in the lower ranks of my songs. Number 3 was Dick Coin / NFT because that was fucking hilarious. Women should do that with unsolicited dick pics, make money off them at least or something. Come on now. But number 2 was Blue Balls because I appreciate a good joke about blue balls because I've been hearing those for 30 years and those are good jokes. And number 1 is
in the style of the blues. I was very adamant. It's a 12-bar blues, and I don't know what that means, but I told my producer it has to be a blues song because that's clever. So I wrote it, and he, blued it up.
Yeah, which it worked. It worked. And my number 1, of course, was When the Dick is Good because, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but that is something I know about, so that one I found particularly hilarious. And
sorry, hang on. I was laughing too hard. I laughed so hard I knocked out my headphones. These are new headphones. I'm not used to them. Okay.
Not the first time I knocked out a girl from her making her laugh too hard, but different weird stories there. But yeah, so those are my top 5. I mean, I enjoyed the fuck out of the CD. I personally, I would have put in I would have had them all on my like list on Spotify, but I played that with my kids are in the car, and I can't do that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not for kids. No kids.
No. But I'm definitely gonna make my wife listen to it sometime. But Chancy, what were your top 5 for Sadia CD, good sir?
So, the honorable mention for number 6 is Dicks. Number 5 is Your Boner's Not My Problem. Number 4 is Toilet Bowl. Number 3 is Blue Balls. Number 2 is When the Dick is Good. And number 1 is Dick Coin NFT.
You like that one?
Because albeit fucking extortion, it's still a great idea. I mean, technically, it's blackmail and extortion because you're like, hey, you didn't say like it's also illegal for them to send an unsolicited dick pic, but it's like a bit more illegal to mint it and then threaten to sell it unless you pay X amount of ransom for your PP pic.
Well, okay, but hold up. If you send it to me unsolicited, you have no expectation of privacy. If you're just sending your dick pic to random girls, I believe that negates your expectation of privacy. So
it's not about the expectation of privacy. It's the act of monetizing it and the threat of publication without payment.
Well, no. The story came from a girl that I read about on the internet who did that. And I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. So I talked about it with some of my female friends. It's like, I'm going to write a song about that. So in the song, right, some idiot sent me a pic of his pee-pee. Gosh, I thought he wanted the whole world to see. Hey, man, I'm doing you a favor. I'm going to mint it as an NFT so all the girls can see it. Oh, wait, what? You want to buy it from me? Well, that dick pic just might be the most glorious pic I've ever seen. Like, I don't know. It's already up in my store. I guess you could buy it for $10,000 and then no one else will ever get to see it. Gosh. I mean, I see both sides of it, but I
still think it's hilarious. But I mean, outside of that whole like that element of it all, it's still funny. It's just I can't believe that actually based around a true story that didn't have a negative outcome for the seller. Because
it's supposed to be a deterrent.
I don't agree with the premise of unsolicited pics in any capacity at all. Like I'm all about that idea. It's just it sucks because it's a great premise as far as like this is what we should do. We just fucking can't because the fucking damn the man, and they got us all held down with these laws and shit.
Well, my goal is for guys to hear that song and then maybe send less dick pics.
It's not going to change it. It will never. That will never change a thing.
But you know what? Honestly, I can't think of many women that have seen a dick pic and been like, "Oh my God, take me now." I mean, that's also in the song. Like we got to kind of get to know you. They're not inherently very beautiful. If you like the guy who kind of get the rose-colored glasses, and you're like, "Oh, it's so adorable," and if it's already made you happy, then game over because the dick is good. It can do no wrong. But in general, just sending me a photo from some idiot I don't know. Like, are you in shape? Do you brush your teeth? Do you have hair? Like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I never understood that premise either. It's like fucking. I honestly like that's not my thing. Like when I'm asked to, I'm like, no, thanks, I'm good.
I mean, well, okay. I just thought of something, and I don't even need credit for this if you do it, but you should make a song called "Why Is There Hair Down There But None Up There."
Ooh, I like that.
I just saw that. I don't even need credit for it. I mean, if you want to give me credit for it, I fucking love it. But I don't even need credit for it. I would laugh hard enough just hearing it be a song, actually. So.
Okay, well, I just took a screenshot. So, no, yeah, credit if you want it. Yeah, I mean, when my friends gave me the Toilet Bowl song, we were very clear. This is a gift to you. Write the song. I don't want any credit, but if you want it, I will give you credit.
Oh, I'll definitely take credit for something like that. I mean, I'm a dirty motherfucker, and everybody knows that. So,
sure. So I have new songs, guys. I have new songs.
Just credit the show. Just credit the show.
Oh, that works too.
Okay, sure.
Trying to share my credit, motherfucker.
Man,
I have a new song.
It gets us out there.
Oh yeah, two new songs. I have one called "Feet Guys" that's not on the album. I have one called "My Flower." Oh, and then I have a brand new one called "I Think I Blew It," and yes, it's about that.
I would assume.
So, another idea for a song that you could do is one about Bobs and Veganas.
I don't know what that is.
Really? You've never been hit up by one of them rando like bots that wants to show me a picture of your Bobs? Let me see your Vegana. You
Like,
know,
I know what you're talking about, Chancy. I know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
I was gonna say, you know goddamn well what I'm talking. What the fuck is that? Did somebody
Oh
break into the Batcave?
no,
Damn
it's
it!
my
My back
storage.
cave! My
It'll
back
turn
cave!
off in a minute. Yeah, there we go.
Well,
But for real though, like, you know, because there's always those, you know, those the overseas bot
Oh,
profiles that are always like, "You are so very beautiful. Show me your bobs."
oh, because they can't spell. Okay. Excuse
Right.
me.
yep, exactly. Well, since me and Chancy got to thoroughly enjoy Sadia's album, I guess we'll talk about my album next. Since I was gonna let Chancy go first, but he dropped off right at that moment. So, and I guess it's good to have a break between the two somewhat similar album musically styles.
The
So,
musical albums, yeah.
yeah, I mean, if we're doing a comedy album episode, I had to bring there was like two albums I was choosing between from the beginning, and I was like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the album from the guy that I have seen actually live, and that was actually recent. But I wish I saw him back in 2003 when the album came out, but I saw him on TV enough back then because I had to bring Ron White's "Drunk in Public," which is one of the best freaking albums of all time.
He's
I
amazing.
mean, I saw Ron White live. I think back in 2019, right before COVID. So, and it was right. He released a Netflix special right around the same time with all the same jokes, basically a couple extras on that Netflix special, but and a couple different ones on stage as well. But I mean, it was just funny. I mean, it was a hilarious freaking moment to see him live finally after watching him for a decade on blue collar comedy TV of every kind in the early 2000s.
Yep.
So seeing him live was amazing. The cigar, the whiskey in hand, you gotta fucking love him. He is a true
Yeah.
man. He's a true man's man, and his comedy never gets old. It's always funny. I had people ask me while I was listening to it at work because when I'm listening to his album at work, I'm just literally like cackling out loud at how before the jokes even come because I know what the jokes are gonna be. But before they
Right.
even come, I'm just dying laughing. But
Because you know it's coming. Yeah.
so yeah, I had to bring Ron White's "Drunk in Public" because it's one of the best comedy albums in the world, in my opinion. But
Excellent.
and apparently, Sadia, let's hear what you think about Ron White's "Drunk in Public" because I'm guessing I already know based on your reactions. But
He's a great comic. I give it a total thumbs up. He's somebody that I admire. I'm more of a Weird Al Yankovic kind of girl personally. If I had to choose like my top, but no, he's a solid comic, very good guy, very, very funny. He definitely has the comedy, gene? You know, he got hit by the comedy stick, I guess. He's so funny. He finds comedy in everyday situations. And I remember where he was talking about his wife, like she was his interior decorator, right? And then he ended up marrying her. Like he's just a good guy. Excellent recommendation. I support it wholeheartedly.
there's a joke there about her being his interior decorator and then him decorating her interiors. But there's a joke there. But I told you I'm a dirty motherfucker. But Chancy, what did you think of Mr. Ron White's "Drunk in Public"?
I mean, Ron White's good. I've never had any problems with his comedy. It's always been really good stuff. So I mean, it was kind of when you listed this as your album choice, I was like, oh well, this is a gimme. Okay, whatever, fair enough. Fucking, I don't actually even have to listen to this album because I've heard all the bits innumerable amount of times because you know I've watched his stuff since before he started doing the blue collar tour and stuff like
Wow.
that. Yeah, and like you know how they used to do those trucker tapes, that truck
Yep.
stops that had like that's basically where I first heard him was when he was running around with Bill Engvall and Jeff Foxworthy before the blue collar stuff when they were taking him around opening up for him and stuff. I mean I've always enjoyed his stuff and I also like the fact that he cleaned up, quit drinking, and his stuff's gotten better. Like
Surprise, right?
When did he quit drinking? Because I saw him in 2019 drinking whiskey, unless it was colored water.
Well, that was
I don't
5
know,
years
bro.
ago.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is the world that I live in, Sadia. Like I need a support fucking group. This guy needs a goddamn role model. I'm literally starting a sign-up sheet at fucking change.org for people to fucking petition him to start fucking getting an active role model. We need all the signatures we can get. But for real though, like, yes, no, he quit drinking within the past like year or two. I mean,
I've heard that. I've heard about that.
you kind of got to keep up on people because, like, you know, life keeps on slipping into the future, like Peter Frampton said, and then you know, people change, things happen, and then they're like, oh shit, I'm coming up into my 70s and 80s. I better probably quit all my dumbass shit, like drinking all the tequila that I make.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I made tequila, I'm pretty sure I'd be drinking it all the time too. But
It's good tequila. It's amazing tequila.
I'm sure. But well, for Mr. Ron White, I didn't pull a Jeremy and take the whole album, but I did take 11 of them. Sorry, Chancy. But they'll be a fast one because it's not songs, so it's not gonna be different. I like them all because they're fucking funny. Bottom line. But my first honorable mention, number 11 technically, is Plane Crash because that bit has always made me laugh my ass off about flying a cheap. Because back in the day, I flew a couple of cheap ass plane rides that I probably wasn't even safe to get on those planes. So fuck, I know what that's like. Number 10 was Outlaw Video Games because that was a big debate back in the early 2000s, and I remember when Grand Theft Auto first got big, all that shit, and it's just funny, like, the fucking shit he has to say about it always stood up for video games, so made it great. But number 9 was Sunglasses, because I love that pretty much how he opens the whole thing. And the fact that a pair of sunglasses can cost $400 is freaking ridiculous. So,
yeah.
I like realistic comedy, and that's realistic. Number 8 was 10 Days in Los Angeles, because it's funny. It's the reason it's low is because it's not the greatest, but... Number 7 was Married a Wealthy Woman, because that whenever he talked about his now ex-wife in the sets back then, it was always fucking hilarious. I love how he uses like his goat voice when he's talking about like how loaded she is and how loaded her parents are, but it always made me laugh. And my last honorable mention, number 6, was Osama bin Laden, because I love the whole "you're gonna meet Thunder Dick, you're gonna lick Thunder Dick's ass." And you better hurry up because you're about to run out of jelly. Like the whole shtick is fucking hilarious. The whole shtick is hilarious. Top 5 though, the top 5 are the fucking legendary ones. Number 5 was Cheating in Columbus because there's so many good points in that fucking bit. I'm a pretty good dog, but if you don't pet me once in a while, it's hard to keep me under the porch, which is the truest fucking line in the world. It's the hardest fucking. It's the truest fucking line in the world. You got to pay attention to your dog. Your dog's gonna wander off and go look for food somewhere else. So
yeah,
puppy got to eat. But number 4 is Car Salesman because I mean, my dad was a car salesman and he's the one who introduced me to Ron White. So he used to die laughing at that track because it's so true. It's so fucking true. And number 3 was Cincinnati Chili bit because I love his accent he does from the guy from Cincinnati. It's freaking perfect. and when the guy says that Cincinnati is the best chili in the world, like, and the whole when Ron White's like, "Did you let the Mexicans know you're having a competition? Because I'm pretty sure they'd be pretty interested in that." But and number 2 was Cousin Ray because I like Ron White, hate getting up early, hate being outside in the cold air, and I see no point in hunting and freezing my ass off just to go hunting. So I love that bit, and the whole part about had deer piss in my boots. Don't quite know why. Like that whole bit always had me fucking dying laughing when that bit came up. But and then number 1 on this album can be nothing else. There's nothing else it could be because it's Ron White's greatest bit to this day still, and it's quoted more times than I can count in the last 20 years since this album came out. They call me Tater Salad because that is the funniest fucking bar fight joke in the world. And had a son, called him Tater Tot. Like that shit would literally have me like that shit would literally have me in the car listening to the CD, like almost falling out the window laughing. Like it's so fucking hilarious. And I haven't listened to this album in full in probably a good 15 years. I've heard bits and pieces, but I haven't heard the full thing in 15 years, and it brought me back so many good memories of dying my ass off as a teenager, dying laughing to this shit. So, Ron White, if you ever want to come on the show, if you ever hear this somehow, because I will tag you when it releases, if you ever want to come on the show, I would be honored and blessed, sir. I wouldn't even consider paying you if I had to. If I had to. If I had to. I don't want to, but if I have to, just do it for your fans. Do it for your fans. But Sadia, what are some of your favorite bits off Drunken Public?
Wow, I'd have to agree with your assessment. Um, I can't really improve on your list, honestly. Now,
Well,
okay, the thing,
it is mostly album, but yeah.
yeah. So the thing about Cincinnati is we eat more chili per capita than anybody in the world. And so, Mexicans make chili, yeah, that's great, but they're not eating it as often as we do.
I
So
don't know about
Cincinnati's
that.
a little weird. We eat more chili per capita than anybody else in the country for sure, possibly in the world.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's Ohio. It's cold a lot, so maybe I can see it. I can see it. And I mean, Ohio must fucking stink then. But yeah, okay, I'm down for it. it must
I think
it must really stink at a full time level for that to be happening every day all day. But
your body
in the
adapts. I'll put it that way.
maybe. Don't tell my wife that, please, because I don't want her to try to make that happen. but uh, Chance a lot. I know you got top five for this album. I'm dying to hear them because I know we have different senses of humor.
So number 5 for me was Cousin Ray. Number 4 was Osama bin Laden. Number 3 for me was Tater Salad. Fucking, I didn't want to take that into the top 2 because it's the cliche pick, I figured Jeremy would go for the lowest hanging fruit possible, and yet again, my friend, you did not disappoint.
Well, I did pick you as a
And
co-host.
well, that's probably the highest you've reached to ever try and get something ever. But
Lowest actually, it was kind of riding on the ground. I kind of picked it up, but
yeah. And then number 2 is Truth in Advertising. Because
I do like that one.
Nobody
That's a
fucking
good one.
brought that one. Nobody brought that one up. There, that'll shut her up. Fucking, that's fucking iconic right there. And for me, number 1, my favorite bit on that whole list was always Plane Crash, because that's the kind of sense of humor that I have. We'd be going down on a plane or whatever, and that guy next to me would be like, "Huh, huh, huh? Do you think we're gonna be able to make it back to the airport?" And I'd be like, "Honestly, we're probably gonna make it to about the scene of the crash." And I'll bet we beat the EMTs there by about at least 15 minutes. I mean, that's my style right there.
Yeah, I do appreciate his morbid humor a lot. I mean, when I saw him live, he was doing this whole bit that's in the Netflix special too, where about him eating baby duck pussy in Thailand, and it's
Yeah.
he literally
Is that
he literally says
legal?
in Thailand, I'm pretty sure everything's legal, but I'm pretty sure he says baby duck pussy about like 50 times within like 5 minutes, and it's like but by the point he finishes it, you're just like, I don't think I ever want to hear the term baby duck pussy for like a year. but like it's Ron White. He outdoes everything until it gets to the point where you don't want to hear it anymore. But
Yeah.
it's just style. It was fucking hilarious. So the first time I heard it, I literally couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing every time he said it. Because those 3 words I never imagined I'd put together in a sentence.
Right.
But I never imagined it. But well, that means it's time to go on to the final comedy album we brought today. And I'm kind of excited to talk about this one as well, because I never heard of this one before it was brought. But, Chancy, what comedy album did you want to bring, good sir?
So honestly, I was kind of torn. It was a 3-way tear because this guy's got 2 albums. So those were the 2 albums that I was having trouble choosing from. And I also wanted to bring Stephen Lynch. Because in all reality, dude, like Stephen Lynch, if we're going to go with like musical based comedy, dude, that guy definitely is one of the goats. Fucking the guy used to be a teacher, got kicked out of teaching for using his guitar to teach lessons and shit. He makes a whole bit about it, and he's all like, he comes up with these songs to teach these lessons, and fucking always ends it up with "Write it down, motherfuckers." Fucking
Well, that's probably what got him kicked out. The motherfuckers, not so much the guitar part.
Right. No, that he came up with that after he got fired, but like he used to use guitar to teach the lessons.
Awesome.
And then when they fired him, he took that element and made a bit out of it. And he was like, and the bit itself was like, no, you guys go ahead, give me a topic, and I can make it work. And he used the same beat on the guitar, and it would always be like, Gandhi. There was a man named Gandhi. He wanted to get the Indians free. Then he got shot down in a killing spree. Write it down, motherfuckers! Fucking. But I figured I was gonna stick with MC Paul Barman, the guy who had the 2 albums, because he essentially, like, it's not necessarily like he's running for comedy. Like, he's doing it because he likes rap. He doesn't see anything good at the time that they were released on the radio or TV and whatnot. And he has a disdain for MTV unlike any person I've ever encountered in my life. So I chose It's Very Stimulating. He has another song. I wish my 2 favorite songs of his were on the one album so I could fucking put them both together. Because the other one kind of fits in with your album, Sadia, because his song, the song that's not on this list, is called Cock Mobster. But the album I chose was It's Very Stimulating. And it's basically just like a whole litany of just crazy nonsense that almost doesn't make any sense, but if you listen to his other stuff, they all kind of run in a row, but on different albums. So it's like this progresses into this album, and this progresses into this other piece, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Well, Sadia, have you heard of MC Paul Barman, and what do you think of him?
I don't believe I've heard of him, but I will look him up as soon as we end this call.
Hmm. All right. Well, I personally have never heard of him before this either, but I listened to this album after listening to Sadia's. I listened to his album, and I wasn't expecting 2 musical comedy albums in one episode, but I was not disappointed in any way because it was fucking hilarious. I mean, he's not. I don't think everything he puts out is freaking good, but he definitely had moments in there. Like I got lines from some of these I fucking loved. So it was good. It was good. He's hilarious, and he has the same disdain for MTV I do. So fuck yeah. Because I hate MTV past 2000. So fuck yeah. But Chancy, what are your top 5 for your album?
Well, this one also has 6 tracks on the album, so I just went with the whole thing.
Me too. Oh, I didn't because I don't count the introduction.
Yeah, actually, that was my honorable mention was the introduction. So, number 5 for me is I'm Freaking Awesome. Number 4 was Senioritis. Number 3 was Joy to the World, or Joy of Our World. I'm sorry. Number 2 is MTV Get Off the Air Part 2. And number 1 is Salvation Bar Me, which is the reason I brought it on there in the first place. Because I love how it all plays out. Like, the very beginning of the song, it's got this, like, stereotypical, it's like, I am a pretty little Dutch girl, as pretty can be. And all the boys around my block are crazy over me. And then all of a sudden it goes into this rap. And he's like, I was walking down the street looking at boobs, asses, faces, went into the Salvation Army for some used glasses cases. Next to the doorway, the cashier in Kashmir held up an old map of Norway. She flipped it over and the message read, you're gay. Fucking, then it breaks down about your 2 lip links look like fangs to me. I said, I hope my sperm will get under your thermal underwear because you're cuter than normal. Like, he breaks down this whole fucking thing. And then fucking, it just, when you take that song and Cock Mobster, those 2 songs literally could make up his entire catalog and make it worthwhile.
What the heck are you guys making my boyfriend talk about?
Cock.
Mobsters. That's my girlfriend, Casey. Casey says hello.
This is definitely interesting hearing on the other side of the room.
Yeah, she literally just hears me talking. She's like, "What the fuck is
over too?" And they're like,
"Yeah." You know, they knew what they were walking into.
Anyway,
Yeah, well,
bye. Have a good show.
good thing she missed my intro, but I'm sure she'll hear it eventually, and I'm probably gonna get shit for it, but whatever. I don't care. And well, Chancy, our top 5 were kind of similar in a way, but not exactly.
How fucking
'Cause-
dissimilar could they be? It's 6 fucking tracks, man. Shit.
Well, I guess you could say the introduction was my honorable mention too, since I didn't put it on the list even. But the introduction was pretty funny way to open CD.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But number 5 was MTV Get Off the Air Part 2 because
Wow.
I'll still be rhyming when I'm in your hymen, had me dying laughing. But and I literally laughed so fucking loud to that fucking part. But number 4, Senioritis, because it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing. Number 3 was I'm Freaking Awesome because that was pretty funny. And number 2 was The Joy of Your World because the fucking guy and the girl being like, my pussy is crying. Like, that shit is hilarious. That's hilarious. That was hilarious. And yes, number 1 was Salvation Bar me because my new motto is a hand job is a man's job and a blow job is your job. That's my new motto in the world. And I love you for introducing me to that, Chancy. I do. I really love you for introducing me to that.
I'm telling you, you gotta listen. You gotta check out Cock Mobster because it's literally him breaking down all these famous people. Like, you know, fucking, I want to see the pubis of Mila Kunis. Fucking, I want to derobe Lisa Loeb. I would jizz early inside Liz Hurley. Fucking Cindy Crawford offered. Like, all these are all out of order and shit, but it's so fucking amazing. Like, hey, baby, you know who I am? Cock Mobster.
Like Rock Lobster from the B-52s. That's
It's
what
a
I hear.
cornucopia, a pornutopia, a warm fallopia. My dandy voice will make Annie's choice granny panties moist.
And Chancy's gonna be on a missing poster later today, I'm pretty sure. But
No, dude,
yeah.
I'll be on Snapped. It'll be all right. You'll see me on TV and shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, look out for Chancy there, folks. If you can't find him, his Facebook, that's where you can find him. But overall, 3 good comedy albums. 3 great comedy albums, really. I laughed so hard yesterday; it made my Friday afternoon at work go so much faster. So I appreciated the shit out of it, and I enjoyed it. Sadia, I hope you had a good time.
Oh, I had a great time. It was well worth the wait. I just want to do a few shameless self-promotions. I'm at Jimmy Kimmel.
This is absolutely, yeah. What? Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, I was there in November, and I'll be there again the Saturday of Super Bowl weekend. I think it's the 10th of February. And
That's
I just
cool.
booked a corporate gig for Starbucks. They want clean comedy, so that's going to be an
Good luck with that.
I have some
Yeah,
stuff. I'll find it.
I mean, make sure you make a joke about how the CEO has you dripping like a latte. But
Or make some type of play on words and call it Starcucks.
I was going to go more with the cold brew kind of a thing, you know.
What, like calling
Lovely.
the hoser? Oh, that's strange brew, not cold brew. I was like, what are you gonna take off, you hoser?
But yeah, please, Sadia.
This was a lot of fun. Yes, sir.
Tell them where they can find all your albums, all your work. Tell people where they can find you.
Sure. So on Spotify, it's Sadia Music, and the album cover has cartoon pictures of dicks. The Chinese dick has blue balls because fuck China. The American dick is apparently perfect, and then the gay dick is curvy. So it's pretty hard to miss. And then on Insta, which is where I post a ton of my comedy, it's my first and last name, all one word, Sadia Carone. It should also pop up under Sadia Music. And it's me in front of a microphone doing something like this.
Love it. Well, Sir Chancelot, where can they find your joyful self?
I mean, you know, the void where all hope is lost. You know, I've reopened the world's most uneventful scavenger hunt because somebody found me. So I got to bring I got to bring an album on Tuesday. So this is my actual first name on Facebook. If you could find me, if it has been played before, you have the opportunity to recommend an album that I have to bring to the show itself. On TikTok and Instagram, it is the Red Eye Roundtable. On X, it's Red Eye Table. And then, Maniacal Music Musings on the YouTubes. And then, here, wherever we are now, and all the places, Spotify. That's another one.
See. And yes, you can find Chancy in all those places, folks. But if you want to find both of us, because you want to find the better looking one, that's me. You can find both. You can find both of us on Facebook as Uncensored, Untamed, and Unapologetic Podcast Collective Facebook group. You can find us on XX Baby in the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard. You can find us on TikTok as that Juggalo Bastard Podcast. And you can find us on YouTube as Maniacal Music Musings. Or you can see us streaming live every Tuesday night on Parapost Network, a great place for all vodcasts and podcasts. And of course, you could find me personally in about 5 minutes on Bracket Bastards. And you can find me tomorrow night live on The Asylum with Harley and Lisa and now Jeremy. Name change coming soon. And yes, Demon and Wizards do rule. Nancy, thank you. Demon and Wizards do rule. But we will be back on Tuesday with our regularly scheduled episode, of course, and we'll be back on Saturday night, I believe, maybe not, but sometime around there. We'll be back with Rolling Stone Bracket Part 5. The chaos continues even more, and this one's going to be a fuckery, so come enjoy what most likely be a 3.5 hour long bracket. But till next time, we want to thank Sadia for coming on, because it's been a blast doing that episode with her, and users are out. Have a good snowy Saturday, everybody. Well, at least it's snowing here.